morning, live and local with Russ Clark, AM 560, KBLU. Senator McCAIN should be on the line. Senator McCAIN, you there, sir?
I sure am, Russ. How are you?
Well, good morning. Welcome to Yuma again.
Well, I'm sitting here and I was looking at the TV. It looks like they got a huge turnout up in Boston for Sarah Palin and a Tea Party gathering there, and I'm looking forward to coming to the next one you have down in Yuma.
Well, and you know, we've got one tomorrow, and I understand you can't make it, but because
I'm trying to do the Lord's work in the city of Satan.
Well, we appreciate that, but I'm encouraged that you say you saw it on TV because, you know, I was listening to some reports the other day that said that the Tea Party really got no exposure last year at all. That there was nothing like other exposures of other marches, Million Man March or whatever. That it's the press is largely ignored it, but maybe
they want to ignore it. They want to ignore it. They're trying to ignore it, and they're trying to tear down the people that are behind it. This whole thing of talking about maybe a couple people at a large rally that don't behave themselves, that they're saying that's the Tea Party movement. You know, it's absolutely false. The Tea Party movement is people who are sick and tired of Washington, D.C. and Obamacare and taxed enough. And I'm glad you're having a rally tomorrow because that's what it's all about. And you will be paying higher taxes than ever before, not to mention all the hidden taxes in this Obamacare.
Well, and there seems to be a lot. In fact, that was going to be my first question about health care. Now that it's passed, Senator, what do we do? I mean, people are asking me, is there something that
repeal and replace, and we can replace a lot of these most onerous aspects of it. The Congress does have the power of the purse. We regain majorities in both houses. We can cut off funding. For example, no funds shall be expended to levy fine against a small business person who does not purchase a health insurance policy that the government wants for their employees. No funds will be used to hire 16,500 IRS agents. No funds, you can really do a lot because constitutionally the Congress has the power of the purse. But whatever, the message tomorrow is don't quit, don't give up. The Tea Party movement has had a huge impact on America. We would not have our 41st vote, Scott Brown, and we would not have changed the climate here all over the country if it were not for the Tea Party movement.
You know, and there's those, and I work with the Tea Party people here, there's those that are in the Tea Party movement that feel frustrated, and are they making a difference?
They're making a difference. Believe me, they're making a difference. The governor's race in Virginia, the governor's race in New Jersey, the Senate race in Massachusetts, politicians are not notorious for their backbone.
Okay.
The Tea Party movement has bolstered up some otherwise might have wavered Republicans and scared the daylights out of a number of, quote, moderate Democrats.
You know, as you know, I'm an employer here in Yuma, the Napa Auto Parts and all that, but I have a lot of younger employees that come to me and say, now that health care's passed, I get health care, right? I mean, it's amazing to me, Senator, that the average person walking the street doesn't understand it, doesn't understand the implications. And, of course, I tell the young guy, I said, do you have it now? He says, no. And I said, why not? He said, well, I don't want to pay for it. Well, thank goodness that we've got it now, and if it goes through like it's supposed to, you not only will have health insurance, but you're going to pay for it.
And you're going to pay higher premiums. This Congressional Budget Office said in a conservative estimate, it's going to be between 10 and 12% increase immediately in individual premiums. Now, you know, the interesting thing about that is, as you well know, and we've discussed in the past, Russ, the problem with healthcare in America isn't the quality, it's the cost. So we've tried to bring forth proposals to bring down the cost while Obamacare expands the cost dramatically, and therefore individuals pay more. Therefore, we are going to proceed at a more rapid rate at bankrupting the country.
Right. You know, and it's been explained to me that this really wasn't a bill about health care, because we always had health care. Anybody gets hurt, they go to the emergency room, they get cared.
Yeah.
It's about health insurance bill, and it wasn't about bringing down costs. It was about obtaining access for everybody. So
it was about putting the government between the doctor and the patient. It was about a government takeover of the healthcare system in America along the lines of European/Canadian health care, and it was along the lines of continuing the Obama, Pelosi, Reid attempts to turn America into a European socialized country.
Yes, it was. A lot of questions I'm getting about immigration.
Yep. We're going to got to secure the border. We have to. John Kyle and I will be coming forward with a proposal to secure the borders. We've been working with Sheriff Larry Deaver, Rob Babot, others, and other law enforcement people and other individuals. Before any immigration reform is enacted, we have to secure the borders. We cannot have a repetition of the murder of that wonderful man and his dog, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
That took place. 3 American citizens were murdered in Juarez. There's been an attack on the U.S. consulate in Nuevo Laredo. The violence on the border because of the drug cartels is escalating dramatically, and it's only a matter of time, as I said a year ago, that it spills over into the United States. We have to send the Guard to the border, and we have to do it immediately.
You know, there's some that think it's not practical and not possible to secure the border, that it's false.
I don't agree with that, Russ. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
In fact, we've had significant enforcement improvements in the Yuma sector. It's far worse in the Tucson sector. Second thing is, if you combine a physical barrier wall with electronic surveillance, you can't separate them because, as you know, if you leave a wall untended, the people punch holes in it, climb over it, dig tunnels under it. At the same time, have surveillance capabilities so that you can have rapid response teams. You can secure the border. I am convinced of it, but we need more man and woman power, and we need that's why we need the Guard down there. And we need to spend a lot more money.
And I'm gonna agree with you. I've been watching this Yuma border now for many years, and what they've done here is phenomenal. In fact,
it's a dramatic improvement, and that can be an example to the rest of the border, don't you think?
Absolutely. The apprehensions are down 95% in this sector from 2 years ago. They have many days where they have 0 apprehensions because nobody comes through.
And nobody wants to go to jail,
Right.
spend time in jail. The other thing is, as you know, the Yuma Proving Grounds, which is so important for, the Goldwater ranges, which are so important. We used to have penetrations on a daily basis of illegals, which caused them to cancel emissions, and now it's a rare occurrence.
Yeah.
So the Yuma sector is an example of it can be done, but it must be done. We cannot look that. The murder of a rancher near Douglas was every indication is that it was a drug smuggler. Okay, we can't have that kind of thing happen. We can't have people with illegals going across their property and stealing things and even knocking on their doors in the middle of the night. It's got to stop.
Yep.
And the violence is escalating on the border, and it's going to spill over unless we get the border secured.
You know, we have the ability. I think you're exactly right. We have the ability. We have the technology. We have the capability. The one thing I think we're lacking is political will.
Well, we're going to try and give them some backbone. We're having a hearing the 20th here. We're going to try to get a couple of our sheriffs up. We're going to try to get some people before the committee that can convince the Congress that it can be done and it must be done.
Arizona just passed a bill, just went through, that is going after communities that I guess are having police forces that don't ask the question of illegal immigrants. Do we have the political will to do that in the nation?
I don't know in the nation because you know the other states are not as dramatically affected. I mean, let's face it, Wisconsin doesn't have the problem that Arizona does. So I don't know if the rest of the nation does. But again, if we would have a system where we prosecute employers who willingly and knowingly employ people who are in this country illegally, that would have a beneficial effect on the issue of illegal immigration, because the people who are here illegally, if they can't find a job, a hell of a lot of them would go back to the country they came from. Doesn't that make sense?
Yes. It would make it real simple. If there's no demand, then
right.
Then
if there's no supply, then Exactly.
Yeah, if you can't get a job, why go through the treacherous job of getting over here?
Exactly.
It's just not going to happen.
And let's balance this conversation a little bit. Our hearts go out to those people who are kept in drop houses and are mistreated by the coyotes and are terrible things that go on. Look, we are a Judeo-Christian nation, and our hearts go out to them. But we've got to dry up the demand, and then we need a temporary legal worker program. Ask any grower in Yuma, and they'll tell you that they need a temporary legal worker program. That's someone who come and work during the season, then go back to the country they came from, right?
Absolutely, and the farmers down here have been asking, for more and more help in that area, and quick passes to get across for those that are registered and legal, so that they can get across and go back that night.
Which was the old Bracero program, which the unions killed. Have no doubt about the influence and power of the unions here. Okay.
Yeah. Internationally, President Obama just is changing our nuclear policy, and I guess in a lot of people's minds putting limitations on when we will and when we won't use nuclear power. Is it smart for us to show our hand?
No, it's not smart, and I also think that to assume that a chemical or biological attack on the United States couldn't be just as devastating as a nuclear attack, I think is a fundamental misunderstanding of how terrible and catastrophic these weapons are. And again, suppose that there's a massive conventional attack from North Korea on South Korea.
Right.
Are we telling them, well, if it's a conventional attack, we're not going to respond to do whatever's necessary to protect the 30,000 American troops that are in South Korea? No, Russ. This is an administration that simply doesn't get it. We've just gone through this whole nuclear thing here and all the hoorah and neon signs and all that, and the fact is that there's no binding agreement in this whole extravaganza that just took place. And the two elephants in the room were, guess what? Iran and North Korea. So, but look, if we want to, I'm all for reducing nuclear weapons. I'm all for getting the material to make nuclear weapons under control. You and I all agree with that. Mm-hmm. But our first priority is to keep America secure, and a capable nuclear arsenal is part of the deterrent capability the United States must maintain.
Medicare cuts. Happening? Are we going
to? No, we will not cut doctors' payment for treatment of Medicare patients by 21%, even though in the most blatant and irresponsible fashion they counted that in their calculation of the cost of Obamacare. It was an out-and-out lie. The chairman of the Finance Committee, Baucus, admitted that to me on the floor, said we're not going to cut physician payments by 21%. Physicians will stop. We still haven't passed a law that orders doctors to treat Medicare patients.
Correct.
That may be next, but the point is that under the present system, doctors don't have to treat Medicare patients, and if they're going to lose money by treating them, you understand why they won't. So, So it's just, look, this whole CBO thing, everybody's, CBO, great CBO, look, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. They only calculated what you gave them. Or what the Democrats
There was so much budget gimmickry in it. First 4 years, you pay taxes and cut benefits, and then after 4 years, any of the subsidies kick in. That's Bernie Madoff accounting.
Unemployment just got funded again, an extension, but the Republicans had a filibuster.
Yeah, we're terrible and cruel and uncaring and insensitive.
Well, that's just what I was going to say.
Oh, that's right, yeah. But you know what? We care about future generations of Americans, Russ. We care about the kids that we're laying a debt of trillions and trillions of dollars on. Do you believe, does anyone believe we can't find that money in cutting spending in other areas, especially since spending last year, domestic spending went up 20%? We're saying, let's stop laying this increasing debt on our kids and our grandkids, and let's pay for these programs. Of course we want to take care of the unemployed. Of course we want to take care of people who are in need. But let's do it by cutting the bloated federal budget, which is completely out of control. I know that in Yuma they appreciate the phrase that they're spending money like a drunken sailor and the bar is still open.
Exactly, yes, they do. and I was looking the way the press handles that about, the mean Republicans and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But the only thing that I could see the Republicans asking for is find a way to spend it. Spend it. Don't no deficit spending.
Find a way to just cut spending.
Yeah.
We find ways. Does anybody believe we can't find programs to cut to help the unemployed? Please.
They're out there.
Well, we might start with that couple of $1 million we gave to the outfit at UCLA to study irritable bowel syndrome.
Yes.
What do you think?
That one could go away in my book. I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that. Senator McCain, I appreciate your time. I'm going to have to let you go. But...
All right. Now, look, I appreciate the great job you're doing, Russ. And look, your message tomorrow, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't quit. Don't give up. You are making a difference. You will make a difference for our kids and our grandkids. And come November, we can bring big, big changes to Washington and America. Don't quit.
Senator McCain, I will pass it along. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, Russ. Bye.
Take care.